and welcome to the 1875 Talk Show. My name is Luke, and, well, it's ended 1-0 to Borough. Mediocre game, at best, I'll be honest. Blues came into the game unchanged from the Sheffield United draw. Blues were 4 unbeaten at the start of the game, 2 draws against Sheffield and Coventry, 2 wins against Preston and West Brom. Borough had recently dismissed their manager, Chris Wilder, and came into the game on the back of a loss against Coventry, a draw against Rotherham, a loss against Cardiff, and a win against Sunderland. Blues were 16th in the league, and Borough were 22nd. First half kicked off. First 4 minutes, poor cross for Bakuna. 2 corners in the first 5 minutes for Blues. Good pressure, actually, from Blues for the first 5 minutes. We really weren't letting Borough out of their area. And as soon as I typed that out, Chong lost the ball and Borough were on a run. And luckily the cross went over everyone's head. A lot of slips and trips from Chong and Angelo. Graham had a couple of slips as well during the game. Borough Blues were playing very compact, which is good to see. Done as well so far. Borough were being forced back to their own defence. They couldn't break us down. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle between Deeney and the Borough coach. I don't think the coach appreciated that Deeney gave him a bit of a shoulder barge, gave Deeney some grief. Deeney didn't care, he just gave him a grin. Early yellow for Backer at the 13th minute for a bit of a rash tackle from behind on Akpom. Hogan was brought down, clear run. Hogan looked pissed, but McNair was shown a yellow. Fans and players thought it was a red. From looking at it on the replay, I'd say it was a yellow, it wasn't a red. There was cover on it, so it wasn't the last man back. I would say the first 20 minutes had looked very evenly matched. Borough were set up to just get balls in the box. They weren't interested in anything else. Unfortunately, corner came from Borough. Looks like the Blues defence fell asleep a little bit. Ball landed well for Akpom, who stuck it in the net, 1-0 Borough. Looked like from the replay, and I looked again, Bielik let him slip away, didn't mark him very well, 23rd minute. After that, Blues looked a bit shaky. Sanderson especially looked very shaky on one-on-ones, conceded a corner. Borough was just growing in confidence. Dick Steele, he was shown a yellow card for holding on to Chong. He must have been grabbing him 3 or 4 times before that, but this was the time he got a yellow. Blues regressed to how we played previously, where it was just get the ball, boot it, get the ball, boot it, get the ball, boot it. Worry about where it's going after. Borough really amped up the tempo on Blues. They were having a lot of luck down the wings. We just weren't inclined to close down players at all when they were coming in. We always seemed to be 2-3 yards away from them. Looked like our midfield had dropped back. You could see Hogan and Deeney yelling at them, play further up. 10 minutes of play since the goal, we couldn't string 2 passes together. It was the same old complaints we've always had about the Blues. There was one moment where a Borough defender back passed and Hogan pounced on it, having the ball, leaving him clear on with the keeper. You just couldn't get the ball past the keeper. Slowly, Blues started to build into the game again, actually putting 2 passes together. We really were on the front foot. We just lacked sharpness in the final third. We lacked that decisive pass. We always seemed to choose the worst of the 2 options. I saw some good interchange between Longello and Chong, but it was Longello's cross that let him down at the end of that move. Great move from Blues again. Cross came in, landed for Deeney, who took a shot, but unfortunately, defender closed it down too quickly. 6 minutes of extra time, but nothing really happened in the 6 minutes. Half time, these are my thoughts. Neither keeper had much to do, if you include the goal. Borough had 7 shots while Blues had 6. Borough had 4 corners, Blues had 3. We were very evenly matched, to be truthfully honest. Blues have had some good play, but again, it's the same old story in the final third. It was the final pass that let us down. Blues need to sharpen up and dig in to that resolve we had against Sheffield. Borough really got boosted by that goal. Before that, they looked very nervous going forward, to be truthfully honest, and it's more nervous when we came at them. But since that, they've really been pushing down the wings and got into areas of positions where they can hurt us. Best player of the half for me had to be Austin Trusty. He'd made some vital tackles, some great blocks, as well as getting the ball forward and trying to get Blues to move on. I really would like to know what John Eustace said to him at half time. If it was me, I'd be telling them, get closer to your mark, don't give him an inch of space, and see if you can get off the front foot. Changes for the second half. Hannibal Mejbri came off a Baka. Probably the right move in the first half. You could see he was getting a bit heated, some silly late tackles. He was already on a yellow, so we didn't want to lose him. One good move from Ruddy, straight to Chong's feet, running towards the goal, and took a nice shot. Borough keeper unfortunately saved. Hannibal Mejbri's first contribution to the game was to flatten Distill, which I did enjoy. No card was shown, just a bit of a warning. Hannibal Mejbri with some great play, holding the ball up, passes to Graham, who crossed it early, but Hogan just couldn't adjust his position, kind of half volleyed it, and it just kind of bounced off the floor and went to the keeper. Much more positive from Blues at the start of the second half, not giving the Borough players much space and moving the ball with a lot better accuracy. Blues still making this silly mistake, but there's a lot more intensity from the Blues. Graham won a free kick on the side of the Borough box. Graham looked much brighter in the second half. During the second Sheffield game, I thought he looked jaded, and he didn't really see much of him during the game, but much better play from Graham in this half. Chong with a low ball to Hogan just by the penalty spot. Hogan, I don't know whether he was leaning back or he just miskicked it, but it went into Rosette. Blues really had dominated possession at this point, but again, it's a final pass. Chong was brought down just outside the box, free kick to the Blues, no card shown, just a warning. Longello with a steaming free kick, went over the wall, lots of pace, unfortunately keeper tipped it over. 63rd minute, Borough substituted Hackney off for Riley McGree. There seems to be a little boo from the Blues fans. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's what I heard. Lots of high long balls coming from the Blues again. We just seem to do the same thing we always do, get it from the defence and boot it up. We were holding the ball well at this point. Passes were great. We were keeping it. Hannibal with a great pass to Longello, who eventually passed to Bielik. Took a shot but got it blocked. But again, we kept the ball and we recycled it back in. 2 Borough substitutes at that point. Giles off for Lenham and Akpom off for Force. Blues, I'd say, had the better of the chance in the second half, but I was wondering how long it would be before John Eustace goes all out. I mean, we were 1-0 down at that point. We were chasing the game. It would cost us nothing if we conceded again, so we might as well just throw the kitchen sink at them. Mejbri had a shot from pretty far out. Unfortunately, the ball did enter orbit. Again, the Blues defence shut off a little bit at this point. A good header, climbing over 2 of our central defenders. Came off the bar, ball lands for Force, who taps it home. Luckily for us, he was offside, so it didn't count. But Borough knew there was blood in the water at that point. Blues needed to wake up. You can see Dukey getting ready to come on. 78th minute, Bielik came off for George Hall and Troy Deeney for Lucas Jukovic. At that point, I thought, right, kitchen sink time. 81st minute, Borough sub Mooney's off for Watmore and Dick Still off for Smith. The fire that the Blues had started with in the second half, it just died out. I could not see Blues scoring at this point. We just didn't seem to have the technicalness or the effectiveness that we had seen from Blues in the previous matches. 87th minute, Chong off for Bellingham and Maxime Collin off for Jordan James. Saw a change of formation. 5 minutes of stoppage. Trusty with a great run on the right-hand side. Decent ball in, but it was just closer to the Borough keeper than it was to Dukey. And Graham with a great block shortly after to stop a second Borough goal. And the run, there we go, full time. And the run came to an end. 4 games unbeaten comes to an end. Curse of a new management strikes again against us. Honestly, it was a fair result for that game. There was not much in it. I think either a 1-0 to either team or a draw would have been a fair result. Blues didn't really seem like we were going to be scoring. We played very mediocre. But that being said, the Borough did as well. Their defence was good. Everything we chucked at them, they stopped. Admittedly, they had a lot of luck when it came to our crosses and our delivery. Best player for us, again, I'd like to single out Austin Trusty. I think he played really well, great energy. He hasn't really put a foot wrong since he's come to the Blues, and I'd love to see him stay on after the season ends. I think he'd be a great asset for us. Just wonder if we could afford him. So we're onwards and upwards. honestly, this game, it was disappointing, but this is Birmingham City for you. The odds were in our favour. I mean, Borough were 22nd. They just lost their manager. They're shaken from everything that's happened, and we lose. It's the Blues, yet we perform well against Sheffield United. But either way, we have a game Saturday. This loss currently puts Blues uh, 19th in the league, and Middlesbrough bunny hopped us to 18th. So that really has kind of put a kink in everything that was happening. But oh well, onwards and upwards. Please like, share, and subscribe. Up to 198 subs, which is awesome. I'd love to reach the 200 mark or beyond. And I will see you all Saturday for the Birmingham Bristol game. Thank you very much for watching. Keep right on and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.